I moved to my dad's when I was 10, and I didn't know anyone in the area, except for the family my dad was friend with, a single mom with 3 kids. Luckily, there was a girl a couple years older than me. We got to know each other's little over a couple of years. We weren't close, but we ended up having the same friends. One night, my friend Rob was hanging out with her and her younger brother. They happened to be in the house alone because of my friend's mom was at work. Her mother's been this one lady through her work and got to know her fairly. Well, she found out her sister was in a mental institution and was let out. Recently, the night when Rob was hanging out with my friend, they get a knock on the door. My friend thought it was just their mom since she knocks a certain way when coming in, and he answered it without thinking. Rob wasn't supposed to be there and he took off, thought the window to his house down the road. He never thought twice about it wasn't her mom. It was the sister of the lady her mom was helping, and she figured out from talking to her sister where her family lived, and her mom's working schedule she came in. This is where I don't know the details, and I'm glad I don't. My friend's younger brother got away to the neighbor's house to call the police. Delaney brutally murdered my friend a week from Christmas, decapitated her, and left her body naked in a bathtub. She even hit her head. They had to look through the presents, and I don't know where they found it, but they did. I wasn't allowed to go to her funeral. When I was young, I'd say 8 to 11-ish, my sister, who is 7 years older, would babysit when my parents were out. At the time, she smoked a lot, and my parents made her smoke outside, of course. So I'd follow her outside, play around, annoy her and such. One day, my sister notices a car at the end of the driveway just sitting in the road. It's a white SUV with a bike rack on top. It has the most tinted windows I have ever seen, who could not see inside from the side. It sat there until she went inside, then would drive to the end of the road and sit at the church parking lot and wait until she'd come out again for another smoke, and it would repeat this. Odd. But my sister is a brave lady and just kind of ignored it. That is until the next day while my parents were out again, and it showed up again. It would sit at the end of driveway and just watch. I don't know what the driver was doing, but he was watching my sister. I know because if I didn't go out and I'd watch from the front window, and it would just sit there and watch my sister. She told my father, who was a sheriff's deputy at the time, and he called the cops and made a complaint. They showed up, looked around, but the SUV was nowhere to be seen. Months went by. One day, a good 9 months after this had all started, and around 4 months since the last sighting, it was back. It became a regular occurrence. Another day, my sister was outside doing her nasty habit, and sure enough, here it comes. This time, we were all alone as usual, and she decides she'd had enough. She tells me to stay in the carport, and she's gonna go confront them. She starts walking towards the SUV, and halfway down the driveway, she would later remark to us. I felt under terror, like I knew if I went any further, I was dead. I was paralyzed by pure fear. She turned around and went inside finally. The family car was in the shop for some kind of issue, so we were all stuck home for the night while my parents are home. My sister goes outside to smoke. I go outside with her, and eventually the SUV shows up. She tells me to run inside and tell my father, and I do. My dad promptly gets his gun and starts briskly walking down the driveway with it in hand in the direction of the SUV, but not leveled towards it. The SUV floored it down the road and peeled out into the nearby large highway. My dad, being a cop, noted the year and model and distinguishing. The scariest thing is the license plate had been covered in duct tape. We never saw it again.